Welcome to episode 4 of Angela Watson's Truth for Teachers. I'm your host, Angela Watson, and I'm here to speak life, encouragement, and truth into the minds and hearts of educators and get you energized for the week ahead. Today I'm going to share some thoughts on how to gain energy from kids instead of letting them drain you. Welcome to the show. I want to start by thanking you for listening and encouraging you to leave a review for the show. Podcast reviews are super important. The more reviews we have, the more easily discoverable the show will be, and the more teachers will be able to reach and inspire. You can visit truthforteachers.com to learn more. Our topic for this week is gaining energy from students. Now, theoretically, a lot of our enthusiasm for teaching should be coming from that seemingly endless source of energy that is sitting right there in front of us as we teach. The kids. Seeing them learn should be inspiring us and motivating us to work harder and to keep putting forth the effort. But in reality, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes the kids just seem to suck the very life out of you. They take everything you've got, and they always need more. They never run out of energy. Think about dismissal time at your school. Students are bouncing off the walls and racing to their buses, and the teachers are ready to collapse in a heap on the floor from exhaustion. You may not have ever thought about why it happens that way, but the reason is actually pretty simple. And you can address it immediately. It all has to do with the classroom energy flow. You see, we as teachers often spend our days giving and giving and giving to students, while the kids just sit and absorb, or deflect in some cases. The flow of energy is one way, so that students are the constant recipients, and they have an excess at the end of the day. They sit still and listen while the teacher presents. They half-heartedly complete assignments while the teacher incessantly praises and encourages. They goof off while the teacher does circles around the room, redirecting behavior and trying to keep the whole show running smoothly. You cannot let that happen. If you do, you're going to burn out really quickly. I am super passionate about this concept of creating a reciprocal energy flow, and it's one of the central tenets of the book that I'm finishing up right now called Unshakable: 20 Ways to Enjoy Teaching Every Day, No Matter What. It's coming out this spring, and I can't wait to get it in the hands of teachers so that I can spread this message. If you want to be unshakable in your enthusiasm for teaching, you can't just give all your energy to kids. You have to feed off their energy too. And that creates a reciprocal energy flow. So, how do you create that reciprocal energy flow? There are a couple different aspects to consider. The one that I want to focus on today is intentionally connecting with and enjoying your students. I think that the relationships that you have with kids are ultimately the determining factor in whether or not you stick with this profession. If you're so focused on covering the curriculum that you never get a moment to step back and appreciate all of your hard work and all the students' hard work, you never get a moment to just marvel at the learning process. You never get a moment to have a casual conversation with a kid and connect with him or her on a personal level. If that doesn't happen, then you're never going to get that burst of energy and motivation that you need in order to keep going. You're going to keep expending all your energy trying to get students to pass a test without ever experiencing the moments of delight that should be inherent in working with kids. So if you feel like teaching is not fun anymore, then you need to create a reciprocal energy flow. The only way you're going to enjoy teaching on a daily basis is if you take time to have fun with the kids and truly enjoy them. If you don't enjoy the kids, what's left? The meetings? The paperwork? The testing? The kids should be your greatest source of joy. But see, we get frustrated with kids and they drain our energy when we're overly focused on the goal or the task at hand. Everyone must complete this assignment. Everyone must master this standard right now. And so any child who's trying to share a story or is off task becomes an infringement on our goal. We see them as a distraction from the most important thing, when in fact, the students themselves are the most important thing. This is the secret to being a happy, lifelong educator. Learn how to tune out all the distractions that pull you away from connecting with and enjoying your students. You have to make the conscious choice to remember you are teaching students, not standards. I have a shirt in my Spreadshirt store with that saying on it. I teach students, not standards. And it thrills me every time a teacher buys that shirt and wears it proudly. We have got to spread that message. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, I agree, but my principal doesn't. I agree, but school leadership won't let me teach like that. I want to get real with you here. It is highly unlikely that anyone from your district or state is going to tell you that the kids come first and your relationships with them matter more than anything else. You can't wait for an authority figure to give you time in the day to enjoy your kids and make a personal connection with them. It's probably not going to happen, ever. So what you have to do is create routines in your classroom that allow you to connect with and enjoy your kids. Stand at the door in the morning and greet the kids as they come in. Play basketball or jump rope with them on the playground at recess. Invite them to eat lunch with you in the classroom sometimes. Take a moment to step back when students are working cooperatively and just observe them. Watch what makes them laugh and laugh with them. Listen to see what topics they're passionate about. Just take a minute to appreciate them as people in your classroom, people who have their own unique personalities and interests and quirks. One of the simplest ways I found to intentionally connect with and enjoy my students is through a system I call daily connections. Let's say you have 30 kids in your class this year. Make a simple list that says Monday and write the numbers 1 to 6 after it. Then write Tuesday and the numbers 7 to 12. Then write Wednesday and the numbers 13 to 17, and so on. Or you can just download the free template I created. It's available in my Teachers Pay Teachers store under the name Angela Watson. And it's also available in the show notes. Go to thecornerstoneforteachers.com and click on podcasts at the top of the page. So after you've created this template for yourself, or else you've downloaded my template, you can make a photocopy and then fill in all the names on your current class list. So if you have 30 kids, make an extra connection with the first 6 on your class list on Mondays, and the next 6 on Tuesdays, and so on. Post your daily connections list with that day's 6 names somewhere where only you can see, because the kids aren't supposed to know this is a relationship building strategy, right? It should be very natural. And then go out of your way to start a conversation or have one-on-one time with those kids on the designated day. You can spend an extra minute talking with them when you check their homework, or when you're walking them to lunch, or at recess, at dismissal, even during instruction. So those are just a few simple ideas to help you gain energy from your students by creating routines that let you enjoy them and connect with them. There are a couple other aspects to consider when creating that reciprocal energy flow. One of them is choosing to love your students even when they behave in unloving ways. Because let's face it, not all of our students are super easy to enjoy and connect with. So I'm going to address that part in a future episode. In next week's episode, though, I want to talk about a completely different aspect of creating a reciprocal energy flow, and that is turning the learning over to students, giving them the responsibility for and the ownership over their own learning. We as teachers have to stop doing all the work. And we have to start empowering kids to take charge of what they're learning and how they're learning it. So I'm going to share some practical strategies for that next week. I'd like to leave you with a motivational quote for the week ahead that I call the takeaway truth. The quote comes from John Maxwell, and it's very simple. He says, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." Your students will notice that you're taking an interest in them and intentionally connecting with them, and that will pay off in spades in terms of student engagement and motivation. They will give you more energy in the classroom when they know how much you care. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic week. You can do this. And remember, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it.